It's the Channel Mom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
Brought to you by the Healthy Marriage Project. Just click on one of their ads to find out about a healthy relationship workshop near you.
This is the Channel Mom Show, where we are celebrating moms, and we are here for you, Mom. Please know that. If you feel like nobody's out there that understands what you have to go through and understands all that you're trying to do to raise your children well, we are here to applaud you, to equip you, to inform you, to say thank you, to encourage you. It is hard some days to be a mom, and you feel like you're failing, and we're here to help you and to remind you you're probably not failing, and you're probably, if you care at all, you're probably doing a good job. You know?
You are. And there's always another day.
All right, gather your kids around the radio because this guy could change your life. Now, he's going to have to tell me how to say his name here in a minute, but right now I'm just going to go for it. Austin Gutwein was just 9 years old when he watched a video showing children who'd lost their parents to AIDS. After watching the video, he realized these kids were not any different from himself, except for the fact that they were suffering. Austin felt called to do something to help them. So at age 9, he took his love of basketball and decided to shoot free throws. On World AIDS Day 2004, he shot 2,057 free throws to represent the 2,057 kids who'd be orphaned that day during his school day. Wow.
Did he make every shot?
We'll have to ask him that. Friends and family sponsored Austin, and he made about $3,000, and that year the money was used to help 8 orphan children. But then he's turned it into helping now 25 countries participating in Hoops of Hope, it's now called.
Love it.
40,000 people participating, $2.5 million raised. I mean, just incredible. Every kid should get this involved. And I think sometimes in our culture, we forget to encourage kids that they can make a difference like Austin has. Austin has appeared on the Today Show, the CBS Evening News, and numerous other media programs. And today he is on the Channel Mom Show with us. Welcome to the show, Austin.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're glad to have you. Congratulations on your new book, Live to Give. I want to let people know that we are giving it away on the show today, 303-297-1510. It's a great book for your teenager to be inspired to that he can change the world. He or she can change the world. Okay, you are still very young. Are you still 18, Austin? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I could be your mom, just so you know. That's why it's called the Channel Mom Show. And you've now written 2 books at the young age of 18. And you're changing the world, so congratulations to that. You're a strong believer that everybody, adult, child, teenager, has got a purpose. In fact, you challenge people to ask themselves 2 questions, which is on page 11 of your book. The 2 questions are, what have I been living for? And what was I made to be living for? Fabulous questions. Yes. Fabulous. Everybody should sit down and ask themselves that. Speaking of not being shallow, as we were talking about in the first segment, sit down and ask yourself those questions. How did that happen for you, Austin? When you asked
really
those
for me, just as a 9-year-old, like you said, it was seeing a video talking about somebody that lost their parents due to AIDS. And, as a 9-year-old, I had no clue what AIDS was. I just knew that here was somebody without her parents. It made me want to do something. And that's kind of how Hoops of Hope was born. But really, I think for all of us, we really do have to sit down and realize, hey, what are we living for right now? A lot of us, believe that, we're living for the American dream of, pursuing, money and pursuit of happiness and that kind of stuff. And sometimes we need to realize that we've been blessed so much to live in this incredible nation. And we have that responsibility to give back to others, whether that's people in our nation or people across the world. We can change the world for them.
Yeah, yeah. So you decided to make a few free throws, and then everything changed. How did that? Were you shocked that maybe you realized your own potential and that people actually were applauding you and that you were actually able to help some orphans? I mean, how did that unfold for you?
Yeah, really for me, I just wanted to make a difference. That's all I really wanted to do. I didn't really think much of anything that I was really doing other than just I wanted to help others. And I love the fact that I got to do that. And then afterwards I realized that, it's a fun idea. A lot of people love to shoot free throws, do something fun.
Yeah.
And really change the world. And so I just felt, called to have more people involved. And we've actually never done any promotion for Hoops of Hope or anything like that. But, really we've just been blessed to have a lot of media stories pick up and tell the Hoops of Hope story.
Yeah.
Tell the world about what's going on. And making a difference is contagious. People love to make a difference and help others. And I think that we're realizing that we can make a difference at a young age, because the truth is that, my generation, in not a few years, I mean, I'm in college right now, I'm a freshman in college, and in not a few years, we're going to be the leaders of this nation. We're going to be the pastors, we're going to be the presidents, be the people that are leading this nation, really shaping how we want to, lead the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so the truth is that we can either wait and make a difference at these problems then, or we can do something now. And that's why I love our generation is we're stepping out and we're deciding that we're not going to wait. We're going to do something now. We're going to start making a dent in the problem today.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I do think, I'd like to think, Austin, that God has kind of carved a path for you, that you didn't have to do any PR because it just happened for you on purpose, and that you were featured on all these national news shows. And frankly, because it's a great story, Austin. What you're doing is awesome. You got 40,000 people involved. People are shooting free throws all over the place, raising millions. You're now up to millions of dollars, and you're literally, saving these children who don't have parents, yes?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I've just been blessed to just sit back and watch the ride sometimes. It's incredible. I'm just so thankful. We've been able to raise over $3 million now to help these kids. And, honestly, for me, I just get excited because, like I said, I just get excited seeing our generation stepping up and doing something.
Yeah.
Having us realize that we have the potential to do something now. Being able to see, kids and that kind of stuff, that look that I had in my eye at that age when I realized that I could do something, it's just incredible.
Yeah, it is.
It's incredible to know that, doing something as simple as shooting a basket can change the lives of kids across the world. But to be honest with you, I think that sometimes when we see people, when we hear about people doing Hoops Hope events, one of the common themes that we hear is they never realize what it would do to them.
Yeah, that's right. How it would change them, how it would help them.
Yeah. Well, when you're making a difference for somebody else, it changes you too.
It does.
It changes your life.
Now, both Shelly and I, and Shelly's going to ask you a question, both Shelly and I have teenage boys who we hope someday will be doing things like you do. They're good boys. We tried to raise them up as godly men who realize that they need to give to the world. But sometimes, Austin, we battle that the lures of everything else. TV, and sometimes I love athletics, but sometimes there's such a lure of athletics that my son has time for nothing else. Shelly, do you have a question in this regard?
Well, my question is, how do you get to that point where not waiting until after college? Why are we waiting until after college? Why not just do it now?
Yeah. How do you get a child to that point?
Honestly, I think it's a journey that really begins on for everybody at a different point. But there's a lot of things that you can do to spur that on. I'd say just the biggest thing you can do is encourage your sons to realize that they can do something now, and to ask them that question. What are you living for?
Yeah.
What are you living for right now? Because the truth is that a lot of times when we really sit down and ask ourselves that question, we realize that what we're living for, what's most important to us, isn't what should be the most important to us.
Yeah.
And asking ourselves that is awesome. And then asking yourself, what are you going to be living for? And realizing, just helping them to realize what's going on in the world. I think that was the biggest thing for me that was amazing about, my parents at a young age is that they were willing to just show me what was going on in the world. And they were willing to tell me about stuff that was going on in the world because they knew that affected me. They were willing to, stop by on the side of the road and, give the money to the homeless guy there. And really for me, that brought this heart of compassion out at a really young age. And so I think that, the first thing is just to basically sit down and ask them, what are you living for? And the second thing is to lead by example. Mm-hmm. When we have adults in this world that are leading and showing us what to do, it's hard not to want to follow. Like I said, making a difference is really contagious.
Yeah, it is. And that's what we're hoping will happen this morning. By the way, we are talking to, is it Gutwein? Is that correct?
Gutwein.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I can see that now.
I butchered
I see
it.
his name.
Austin Gutwein, the author of Live to Give, Letting God Turn Your Talents into Miracles. And he has done that in his own life, and he wants to inspire other teenagers to do that. We've got about 2 minutes left, Austin. Just really briefly, can you just give me a quick statistic about how many AIDS orphans we have now?
Yeah, there are over 15 million AIDS orphans in the world. And really, Honestly, that's a number that's hard to really put in perspective into our minds. But one, just kind of startling way that we figured it out is that if every one of these kids were to link hands and stretch in a single line, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'd go from Los Angeles to New York and back again 5.5 times.
Oh, all those babies.
And what's even more shocking is that the United Nations estimates that this number will increase to 20 million in just about 10 years. And if 20 million kids were to link hands and stretch in a single line, it would wrap all the way around the world.
Yeah.
How does the money go to help them?
Yeah, we've got a minute left, Austin, so why don't you tell people how the money goes to help them and how they can get involved if they want to get involved in Hoops for Hope?
Yeah, 100% of what everybody raises goes directly over to helping these kids in Africa. And basically, what we do is we're doing incredible things to help ease the blight of AIDS in Africa. And one of the things that we're doing is we built a school over there. We built dormitories at that high school, computer lab. There is no high school within 70 miles. So now a lot of these AIDS orphans are able to have an education for the first time. Something else that is really incredible is we had the chance to build 2 medical clinics over in Zambia.
Oh, yeah.
And what these medical clinics do is basically I won't go into it since we don't have a ton of time, but there's a really delicate way that you have to deal with somebody that has AIDS in order to keep them alive. Because if you give them too much of a drug, the drug itself can overpower the body and kill it. If you give the person too little, then AIDS will take over and kill the patient as well. And so these 2 medical centers really help that way. Patients can come in there, get the proper doses that they need for their body, and they're able to stay alive. And in the end, kids aren't becoming orphans.
Yeah.
So it's an incredible thing. We've done a lot of other projects as well. Right now, we're actually working on feeding 1,500 children in Malawi for a year. There's 1,500 orphans that actually don't get to eat a meal. We're going to do something about that.
Austin, first of all, I just love you. I love what you're doing. I'd like to inspire my own child to do the same. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, it's Hoops of Hope. You've also written the book, Live to Give. If people want to win it, 303-297-1510. If you'd like to get Austin's book, Live to Give, Letting God Turn Your Talents into Miracles. Austin, how do they get a hold of you? Where's your website so they can find out more if they want to help your cause?
Right. You can go on to hoopsofhope.org if you want to find out more about Hoops of Hope, as well as my website is austingutwein.com. That talks a lot about the book, speaking, all that kind of stuff.
Wonderful.
So it's fun.
It is. It is. Congratulations. Thanks so much for being on the Channel Mom Show today. God bless you.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
Okay, you too.